Well, hello again, people. It has been a hot minute. Um, Life has been extremely busy here on the farm. We have baby turkeys, baby goats, and baby chickens. So that's what has kept me busy for the past 2 to 3 weeks, and that's why I have not made an X Files analysis video. And I'm hoping to change that today because today I want to talk about the season 6 episode Monday. I took a poll on Twitter, and a lot of people wanted me to talk about this episode, so that's what we're going to do today. And as fate would have it, Groundhog Day was on last night, so we're going to talk about Groundhog Day in just a minute. So Monday is a season 6 episode. Please bear with me. I'm just getting over a cold. One of the fun issues I've been dealing with these past 2 to 3 weeks. It's a season 6 episode. Season 6 gave us some of the very best episodes of the X-Files. I think many fans will agree with me there. It is about Mulder, and he seems to be living the same day over and over again. And if that plot sounds familiar, you are probably thinking about the Fairly Odd Parents episode where Timmy Turner has Christmas over and over. I'm just kidding. It's about the. It's very much like the 1993 Bill Murray, Andy McDowell film Groundhog Day. I love Groundhog Day. In my top 10 favorite movies. I can watch it over and over and over again. See what I did there? It's funny, it's dark, it's wacky, it's all the things I love about a movie. And Monday very much is like Groundhog Day. Now, ever since Groundhog Day came out, a lot of movies and television shows have tried to capitalize on that. And I think Groundhog Day works best. And I'm going to explain in a little bit why I think it does. But the thing about me that I've learned over the years, especially as I've gotten older, is if someone tells a story again, as people have been doing since people have been telling stories, as long as they do something, their own thing with it creatively and put their own spin on it, there's no reason people can't be telling stories over and over and over again. I'm going to use that joke so many times during this vlog, so just get ready with your torches and pitchforks. So, there are distinctive differences, though, between the X-Files episode Monday and Groundhog Day. And the main difference, I guess we'll just get right into this, is in Groundhog Day. Phil Connors, who is played famously by Bill Murray, accepts his fate. I believe a fan tabulated up how long Phil Connors did live the same day over and over again, February 2nd, Groundhog Day, and I think it came out to like 43 years, maybe. So that's a spell. And we don't know how long Mulder and Scully and the gang relive that day over and over again in the X-Files episode Monday. But in Groundhog Day, Phil Connors accepts his fate. It takes him a hot minute. He goes through the stages of grief, and I can't name them right now. He's in denial. He has anger. He has bargaining. If you know the 12 stages of grief, please comment them. I'm blanking. And eventually, he accepts it. He tries to take his life several times. Content warning, suicide, if you want to watch Groundhog Day. It goes to some dark places. It's not just a comedy, which is what I really like about it. So, eventually, Phil Connors is like, well, I cannot change this fate, so I will accept it. And he isn't just accepting it as to get out of this as a kind of redemption. He's saying, whether the day changes or not, I'm going to live the best I can. And he does. He's in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, which is where Punxsutawney Phil is, and the famous Groundhog Day festivities. And he gets to know the people of Punxsutawney. He does his best to help them. He does his best to be a good member of the community. He learns to play the piano. He learns to treat Rita, who's played by Andy McDowell and is the love interest. Phil's a weatherman, by the way, which is just so good. Groundhog Day is just fucking good. You need to watch it if you haven't. Rita is his producer. And at first, he's very much objectifying her. He's trying to get her in bed. He's just being a sleazebag. And eventually, he learns to see Rita as a human being and value her. And also his cameraman, who's played by Chris Elliott. So he learns to be a better person, and that's part of his acceptance. He's like, this is a blessing in disguise. I'm going to do the best I can. And I'm not going to give away the end of the movie. I'll let you watch it. But in Monday, Mulder wants to change his fate. And I don't believe that there's a right or a wrong in comparing Fox Mulder and Phil Connors. There is an issue, though, on Mulder's behavior, and I'll get into that in just a little bit. But Mulder ultimately wants to change his fate. There is a woman, Rose, who keeps coming to him every day, and she tells him, you'll go into the bank. A series of funny things happens to Mulder on this day, Monday, that he keeps living over and over again. His waterbed springs a leak, which is a great nod to the Dreamland two-parter earlier on in season 6. He leaves his shoes in the middle of the floor, which I always tease my spouse about, because he's always leaving his shoes in the middle of the floor, and I'm like, okay, Mulder, pick them up, you know. His alarm clock, it just doesn't go off. He gets his check out, he rips it up, he goes to the bank, and there's a holdup there. There's a robbery. Can I just say, I just want to pause it and say, if Monday riffs on Groundhog Day, it does it in the best way. I believe this episode is written by Vince Gilligan. Or it might be Frank Spotnaz. Anyway, fantastic writing. It has some great nods to Groundhog Day. The alarm clock, if you've ever watched Groundhog Day, it always goes off and plays the Sonny and Cher song, I've Got You, Babe. And you just see Phil Connors destroying the alarm clock every day. Mulder very much does the same thing with his alarm clock. He's like, oh shit, again, you know? Yeah, there's some great nods to Groundhog Day in Monday, and I really appreciate that. They were like, hey, they're telling the audience, you know this is Groundhog Day, we know it's Groundhog Day, but we're going to pay proper homage to it and have fun, and I really appreciate that. So another difference between Groundhog Day and the episode Monday is Mulder is at first not aware that he's living the same day over and over again. A woman, Rose, she fills the role of Phil Connor. She knows that she's living the same day over and over again, and it's her boyfriend Bernard that holds up the bank that Mulder always goes to as the day is played over and over again. There's variations in the day, the same way Groundhog Day is with Phil Connors. Sometimes Scully goes to the bank for Mulder. Sometimes he tries to use the ATM, but it always comes down to Bernard blowing up the bank, and Mulder and Scully dying. So, so Rose is trying to Bernard's girlfriend, the robber's girlfriend, is trying to change this fate. And eventually Mulder catches on and he's trying to change the fate. And spoilers for the episode, Rose dies, and that is the factor that changes the day. Like, she had to die for the day to go on and everyone else to live. And that is the one thing in this episode that I fucking hate is, oh boy, let's kill or traumatize another woman in the X-Files. It's a trope I fucking hate in the X-Files. If there's one thing I would change about the whole series, it would be that. There were so many ways this could have been handled better. Like, I would have loved to see Rose taking control of her fate and changing it, because that's the whole message of the episode, or at least it tries to be. Because Mulder is always the one trying to change different variables of the day. There's some really good writing touches in this episode. And one of the days that they're living over and over again, Mulder sees Bernard has a bomb strapped to him. And at this point, Rose has told Mulder, we're in the day over and over again. And Mulder starts to catch on. He's having deja vu. He tells Scully, he's like, Scully, have you ever had deja vu? And she's always says such cute things. He's like, hey, do you ever feel like you're living the same day over and over again? And she's like, since I started working here, yes, frequently. Scully's very sassy in this episode. Great Scully moments in this episode. I always say that even in the Mulder-centric episode, Jillian is acting circles around David Duchovny. I mean, it's night and day. We'll talk about Scully in just a minute in this episode. But on one day, when Mulder sees Bernard has a bomb and they're all about to die, he's like, he's got a bomb, he's got a bomb, he's got a bomb. He just keeps repeating it. So he'll know, into the next day. He's trying to remember. That's a great touch. Anyway, I wanted to see Rose live. And that's what fucking sucks about this episode. Like, especially for the overarching message to be change your fate. Like, why couldn't Rose have been given some agency to change hers? And live instead of fucking die. Because anytime a woman in the X-Files is given agency, she fucking dies, right? So, fuck that, right? So that's the main difference between Monday and Groundhog Day. And again, it's an episode that it does its own spin on the Groundhog Day story, and I appreciate that. But Mulder's big thing in the episode Monday is change your fate. And he talks to Scully about it. And he's like, they have this conversation about it. You always see her coming into the office every day and like having these deep existential conversations with Mulder. Mulder says, what if we're living the same day over and over again? And she's like, why? And he's like, maybe to right some wrong. And then Scully says, well, what if it's destiny and we're just all destined to do certain things? And Mulder's like, no, I don't buy it. We're going to change fate. And I call bullshit on this, because everything in the series up to this point and after would be Mulder having this grand destiny and Scully changing fate. Through this whole series, Scully has not only tried to change fate, she has changed it. We see so many examples of that in Beyond the Sea, in Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose, in Revelations, and then later on in All Things. Scully's like, I'm going to try to make the right decisions to, make my own destiny, while Mulder's being this Christ-like figure that's fulfilling a destiny. So I call bullshit on that. I am so sorry. I have this cold. Uh, like, why, why couldn't you have put Scully in that position to live the same day over and over again? That would have been fucking rad. And I think, you know, if there had been female writers, if there had been woman writers in the writers' room, she could have reached out and really helped Rose. And Scully's so good at like reaching out and helping women, and I would have loved to have seen her in Mulder's position, in Monday, and that would have been rad. Um, that being said, Scully has some awesome moments in this episode. Like I said, even in Mulder-centric episodes where it's all about his character, Jillian is acting circles around David. In the beginning, where Mulder gets shot in the chest, incredibly sexy MSR moment where she's stripping off his shirt and putting pressure on the wound. She is losing her goddamn mind. And God, when she's talking to Bernard, she's like, "What's your name?" And she's like, "I gotta call you something." She's like, "What about Steve?" And it is so good. It very much foreshadows Scully's reaction in This Is Not Happening in season 8 when they find Mulder's presumably dead body. Again, she has some cute moments when she keeps coming into his office over and over, and she's like, "I couldn't reach you on the phone and you're late." And it's so cute. He's like Scully, do you ever like wake up and you have these feelings of deja vu? And she's like, "I don't know, Mulder, did you do a lot of drinking in college?" And I mean, like, she's so sassy. There is a moment where Rose comes to FBI headquarters and she tells Scully, she's like, "Don't let your partner go in the bank. Don't let this happen." And Scully's like, she's so just incensed by it when Rose is taken away, of course, by another FBI agent. Scully does this little huff. She goes, "Huh," and it's so cute. Great Scully moments in Monday, and it's just a great episode. I want to start doing art to put in the thumbnails for these videos. And the one I want to do for Monday is Mulder with his shirt off, looking in the mirror, and his reflection is Phil Connors from Groundhog Day holding the groundhog, Positani Phil. I think that would be super cool. So, this was cool. Glad to get back to these vlogs. I'm thinking of doing the episode Shapes, the season 1 episode Shapes next, or the season 3 episode Revelations, which, by the way, is my favorite X-Files episode. Hit me up. What X-Files episode do you want me to discuss? These are fun. I love them. Have a good day. Stay safe out there. We love you. Bye. Mwah. I got you, babe. Dun, 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 dun. I got you, babe. Dun, 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 dun. I got you, babe.